first time doing a movie reaction on this channel. I have seen the PureFlix commercials or whatever you want to call them, and The Most Reluctant Convert is one of the movies that they have on that streaming service, and it's about C.S. Lewis. I don't know that much about C.S. Lewis, but one thing I do know is that he knew the Lord. So I am so interested to know more about his story because I really don't know anything about his story. Of course, all of us know the books that he's written, many of them. Many of us have seen movies from the books that he's written. But I'm just interested to get into his story. The preview looked super good. So we're about to get into that right now. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on your post notifications so you know anytime I post a new reaction. And just so you know, my opinion is my opinion. Your opinion is your opinion. We can all share them, but make sure we're respectful in the comments. Work out your own soul salvation in the name of Jesus. Thank you. Amen. All right, let's go ahead and get started. If I look how I'm looking, it's a work day. I think I'm getting sick because I was knocked out for like 4 hours, and I don't usually do that. So I think my body's fighting something. So this is just what you have today. But God bless you. Let's go. Okay, that just got answered. This is from the stage play of Max, and that's Max, based on the works, including his autobiography. Okay, cool beans. I love when they answer questions that we have, like inquiring minds want to know.
Agonized fear of losing it. And when lost, the
one thing about it, two things for sure. I'm already in this thing. Give me a good speech. They got me in a chokehold. Like I really don't have anything to say because in order for me to talk, I have to talk over him, and I want to hear what he's saying. But what I will say is that he said he was giving the reasons for why he did not believe in God as an atheist from the past. So I do love the fact that there are a lot of people that have converted or have gone back and forth. And you don't forget the reasons that you had before of why you didn't believe or something like that. However, you now have answers to the questions that you had. You now have rebuttals to the thought process that you had. And spiritually, you have a spiritual backing as well that sometimes is not as easily explained to people that don't also have a spiritual mind. So I definitely appreciate that because we can't act like we didn't have questions. We can't move forward acting as though there was never a time before now.
existed. Why should creatures have the burden of existence forced upon them without their consent?
Woo-wee! I've heard that before, baby. I'm about to share this video.
You much frightened in France? All the time, I said, but I never sank so.
I like this, y'all. I really like this because it's real, it's blunt, it's transparent, and it's still funny.
By blood, passionate, rhetorical, laughed and cried a great deal.
Not to judge, but I don't know how people be drinking beer because that stuff is nasty as heck. At least a shot you can mix with something else. Like if someone want to drink, they you know. But people just be drinking beer for fun, and it be a lot. Like a shot is a little. It be like a lot. I'm just anyway. Y'all ain't asked me my opinion. I'm just saying. I still love you, but your taste buds is jacked up.
Rainy afternoons, I almost literally read my way.
I love books too, C.S. Lewis. I love books. I have so many books throughout my house. I never thought I'd be like one of those people that just has books laying around. They'll have piles of books places, but I don't have a bookshelf, so it's definitely giving that because I got books right there, I got books right there, I got books in my bedroom. Then I got some books actually hidden where they're supposed to be, but they're just everywhere. And I ain't even read them all. Got to do better.
To say we can't.
I don't think children suffer less than their elders. They suffer differently.
I would say the same when it comes to the relationship between the person that's dying and the other person. Because sometimes, like for instance, if your parent dies and you have children, you think that there's not still the same intensity of pain when it's really just a different pain. That person doesn't know what it's like to lose their parent, but that doesn't diminish their pain and doesn't dilute what they actually feel. So, we have to be careful not to act like pain is not pain.
He was losing his sons as well as his wife. My brother warning I'd all.
I knew none of this about C.S. Lewis. Like, how would I? But it's so amazing his story and the things that he's been through, that he came out the way that he did. Like, yeah, he writes. Okay. He writes and he read books. Cool. But the way he writes, the intensity to how he writes, the emotion, the feeling, especially with God, and to know how he got there, ooh, tell me something. Tell me something good.
But prayer hadn't worked. Oh, I was used to things not working. Thought no more.
When y'all grew up, did y'all give God contingent prayers? I know I used to, every now and again. Be like, God, do this, and I'll, like, first of all, humble yourself.
Was a rather regrettable institution.
It's so amazing to me how some people don't have back fat. Like men cannot be skinny, but they will not have back fat. And there's people that have back fat. Like, I have back fat. I would much rather not have back fat and have it go somewhere else, and then I could just, But that's not my story.
Words came to him and intoxicated him as they came.
AKA, this man likes to talk. He likes to hear himself.
Described as
Cool, premeditated insolence.
Yo, I love this. Y'all got to, if y'all have not seen this, go watch this movie, because this is so good.
To the colonies. To end in misery the career of...
What did they do? I'm trying to understand. What did we do? What did we do? What did we do to deserve this sermon? This is theater and a sermon wrapped in one.
eager not to. If Adonis could be explained away, then why not Christ?
That does make a good point. What I do love about the fact that stuff makes sense is because people's questions are logical. They're not illogical. They're only illogical when you have a belief. But at the end of the day, there is no absolute, meaning that you can't prove your belief system. It is what you believe, but it's not something that you can prove any more than they could have proved that Jesus was the Son of God when he was walking the earth. Of course, 1 to 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 people could have heard God say, well done, my beloved son, or whatever he said when he got baptized. But that's hearsay. That's hearing through the grapevine. And we know now, you don't just listen to people through the grapevine. You know stuff for yourself. So the questions that he's bringing up and that he's asking, it's not taboo. Because there really is someone that's asking those questions. And that's a part of the power of his testimony. Because I had these questions too. Here are the answers. Or I came out of this thought process. Here's how.
And said,
I love the smell of bun tea.
She did not say it like that. This is your imagination. Talk about, she ain't say it like that. She ain't say it like that.
I knew what I wanted.
It'd be crazy because it really be like that. Kids be trying to make people pedophiles out here. And it's ridiculous. Like, y'all be blaming, of course, there is a fault of the adult when they actually go through with it. But let's not act like these kids ain't out here trying to get these folk locked up. These kids be trying to get these folk locked up.
Produced an incredulous.
Well, that's not the story you used to tell.
It's just like church folk. But neither here nor there. validation mixed in there. Anywho, God bless.
Peevish rattle from me, nor could the subject ever have been dropped.
And a lot of people do that with a lot of things, because why am I about to talk about something when I'm not even going to be heard anyway? I don't want to. I know my thoughts. So let me just keep my thoughts to myself where they're safe. And that's a problem, especially when we get into topics like homosexuality, certain sins, porn, drinking, murder, like literally anything that has to do with flesh. If you are not able to promote conversation without some type of punishment or consequence, then it becomes very difficult. It's not that your kids don't feel like they can talk to you. It's kind of like, what's the point of talking to you? Or what do I gain out of talking to you? If they don't gain anything, they're probably not going to do it.
On the subject, never occurred to me that my thoughts need to be based on anything.
And do they? Partially. I'm in my head like, do they need to be big? Like, you can have a thought and not be based on something. But to have informed inquiries, is intelligent. It is intelligent. It's a measure of intelligence. To consider thought prior to speaking. And your ideas and the way you frame your mind. That's intelligent.
Off for a walk by two.
Is this something that, I know it's something that's very popular in the English culture in terms of tutors, if you have the money to have it. But I don't hear much about that in America outside of like having a specific tutor for like school specifically. But, not this type of tutor. So I think that would be very beneficial, honestly. I guess it would be like a mentor of sorts, maybe. So I guess in that context, we have similar things, but...
Days and work. I have it somewhere.
Look how happy he is. Look at him. It's like in college, they'll have you prove your point or question you or make you feel like you're wrong because you need to be confident, in yourself. You need to be confident in your answer. And I need to be confident that when someone gives you pushback, you still good. Honestly, if we had this type of mentorship with Christians, we would be a much better group. Not to say that people don't, but as a whole, like everybody. And not just the mentor of your family. Like, go to someone outside of your family as well. Your family's great, but just saying.
Disciples, I might now be a Satanist or a maniac.
So interesting how people tend to go to witchcraft or occult or Satanism. And Satanism isn't as dark as it sounds from a Christian perspective. I mean, it's not. Anything that ain't in alignment with God ain't great. But I'm saying it's not as... There's ranges. Let's say that. There's ranges or denominations. Satanists have denominations.
Was baptized. The rest of me took a little longer.
The duality of how he speaks is beautiful. It's beautiful. I love how he's playing the part. I'd love to see who he is as him, because he's definitely playing a role, and it's giving. It's giving.
Particular kind of grief. But then it's...
That's so smart. That's so smart. Oh, I love the writing. I love writers. I love words. Because if joy is something that's different from happiness, and joy is something that you're always trying to obtain, it does come with a certain grief because you're not getting it. It's almost out of reach. Ooh.
But joy is never in our power. And pleasure is.
You better Lewis. Dadgummit.
This is what Homer wrote about. 5 months later, I was...
I don't ever want to be that fancy that my eggs got their own little bowls, yo. Like, I ain't never. But to have the option is nice, because if you got somebody coming over, you can act like that's your everyday type of thing that you do. But I wouldn't be doing that type of stuff every day. Why? Why does my egg need its own bowl? They got the same guns they were talking about during Emancipation, the movie. So what I was saying that it's so interesting because our guns now, they don't have all of that. You know, they don't have like the spear and the gun with it. And I feel like that's a convenience, you know? Not to say that our military soldiers don't have knives and different things, you know, with them. But I wonder why it's not all together. Maybe it was not as helpful as it was hurtful, but it seemed like a good idea.
Cared not two farthings. Oh, it was more than an abstraction.
War is in a lot of people's lives above a certain age, of many races. And I wonder, well, they had drafts as well, so never mind. But they're in England. I gotta stop thinking he's in America, because he's not.
There is a hopeless discord between what our minds claim to be and what they really must be if...
I wish I had people that I could just have intelligent conversation with that's also transparent and blunt, that does not have underlying thoughts of feeling like it can't be that because I feel like it can't be that, or it can't be that because that's not what I was raised with. Just pure thought based on intellect rather than feeling all the time. And that's not to say intellect with the absence of spirituality, but the absence of human feeling, of ego, of it doesn't make sense to me, so it can't be, you know?
Wouldn't lead to dark places where men scream they're being dragged into hell.
This guy is hilarious. Oh, stay away from them cults.
Dice and J.R.R. Tolkien, both Christian.
Tolkien! Don't we love him?
Oh, I must have been as blind as a bat not to have seen this before. George MacDonald had done...
And that's the thing about ministering and witnessing, is the fact that something that's so clear to you may not be so clear to someone else, and it's not their fault. So coming at them with such fire as if they can understand your point of view may not be the right action to take, because I can't get to where you're getting to, especially in the way that you're giving it. So it's also important to have some variety in how you speak to certain people, because one way is not always going to be the right way.
God either. I called him Spirit. One must fight for one's remaining comfort.
I love the transparency of this. Even though this isn't C.S. Lewis, if C.S. Lewis really talked us like this, I would love him.
Before God closed in on me, I was in fact offered a moment of free choice.
Yo, it be like that. He said, before God. It be like that.
Blindly to a guide when his own showing may very well be leading you to poverty, ridicule.
Ooh, you better speak, fake CS. Jesus.
England.
The beautiful thing about it is the fact that it's so reluctant because he is an intellect. You can't ignore your own intellect. You can't ignore what is true just to hold on to something that's false when you're truly a scholar, when you're truly wanting to be one with yourself, when you're truly transparent.
I had no belief in an afterlife. That to me felt like a bribe.
So that's important to say, that an understanding of one idea isn't every idea. Like sometimes things come in parts. Sometimes understanding comes in parts. Sometimes you may only understand one thing.
Yes, I like bears, but I have no more wish to be in church as to be in a zoo.
I like this movie also because it makes it okay to have thoughts. Like, your thoughts are not too taboo. Like, it's okay to feel however you feel. It's okay. There is so much condemnation on having a thought that's not positive. And honestly, that's a measure of human nature, and it's not disrespect all the time either. It's not disrespectful to feel how you feel if you feel a way. Like, if it's the truth, it is.
One day, Tolkien and I took a stroll on Addison's
I love the fact that him and Tolkien were like in the same time. And like could have been friends or just talked. They were like, that's so cool.
Claiming to forgive sins, and that he himself is the injured party in every transgression. Look.
What I love about this is that obviously he's ignorant to a lot of things about what the Bible says, obviously. And this is also a long time ago. Is the Bible just out here flowing? I don't know biblical history in terms of written document. Look, I don't know. But if that is the case, that it is around, they are just providing him with what it says rather than like getting down on him because he doesn't know.
step in the same direction. Oh, this too was something I had not wanted.
Look, CS, this is a long journey for you. I mean, painstakingly long. Golly. And it be like that. But once you get to the end, that makes it much more difficult to walk away from.
We have been invited to follow our great captain inside.
It makes me want to cry. Oh, yes, it is. It's the essential point.
All day long we are helping each other to one or the other of these.
Every day we're helping other people to one of two destinations. What?
My first communion 17 years earlier. I now believe.
They're gonna make me cry. They try to make me cry. I'm not disappointed at all in what I just watched. Even how they give us a set life to differentiate between, like, I'm not C.S. Lewis. Oh, this is great. Would I really want to have a church that's on a cemetery ground? No. Short answer. But to God be the glory. I don't know what I thought his name was. I don't even think I expected him to have a real name. Definitely wasn't gonna be Clive. Oh, saints and ain'ts. Your girl is exhausted, but that was so good. I actually enjoyed that a lot. I really like that, as y'all probably can tell. So anyway, make sure y'all stay tuned for more videos. We are gonna be doing movie reactions weekly. If I can stay on schedule with that, I'll do my best to. But make sure y'all also follow my other channel, Unadulterated Reactions. That is all movie reactions. This channel is for ministry, so it's going to be talking. I also want to incorporate Christian movies, but in the case that you want to watch more or see me react to other movies that are not faith related, that'll be over there. That doesn't mean that they cursing and that don't mean that. It just means that this channel is specific to Christian content, and that is not. So it can be Beauty and the Beast. It can be, I just did Emancipation. We're gonna do Selma. We did 51st Dates. I've done some Marvel movies. You know, it's just literally anything. reaction content. So stay tuned for this channel. I think the next movie reaction we're gonna do is Prince of Egypt. I gave my story about fibroids. I had fibroids last year and it was very bad. I went through a lot, so my testimony is in that first part, as well as the next video that I put out is going to be part 2 of my fibroids journey, which is my surgery and recovery. So make sure you check out that video, share the video. Fibroids is not announced enough, and it is in the majority of our women, whether that be a critical case or a case that's not very critical. Either way, please, please, please share and spread the message of fibroids. I love y'all with the love of Jesus. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on your post notifications so you know when I post a new video. Put any suggestions or questions or whatever down below. Any movie suggestions, anything, put it down below, okay? Now, I love y'all with the love of Jesus Christ. I am peacing out. Bye.